Hey, what's cracking, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Geek Master, where we love all things geek more than Katie Cassidy wishes the writers on Arrow knew what the fuck they were doing. I'm your brilliantly idiotic host, Cassius Samuel, and today I wanted to give you guys my thoughts on the death of Laurel Lance on Arrow and whether or not I think the death will stick. So, by now, you should all be aware that Laurel Lance, aka the Black Canary, was killed off on the last episode of Arrow, titled 1159, which was meant to reference her exact time of death, of course. The death has caused a lot of outrage amongst fans, and rightfully so, for various reasons. I'm not going to go in here today, but real quick, I will give you my opinion on the decision. Personally, I think the choice to kill off Laurel was stupid. It felt forced, and it felt like they were just trying to get some shock value for ratings, because as you all know, the show has been kind of up and down since the second season. But on the other side of that, I felt like they weren't really doing shit with Laurel's character anyway. And since the next season of Arrow will probably be its last, I guess I don't really care at this point, since the show has basically really struggled to stay relevant over the past couple seasons. Having said that, now that Laurel Lance is indeed dead at this point, there is a question that's begging to be asked. And can you guess what that question is? Yup, that's right, you guessed it. Is Laurel Lance really dead? Arrow is known for pulling the fake out deaths on a regular basis, and considering the abrupt and sudden way Laurel expired at the end of the episode, I think it's a fair question to ask. I personally think she's dead and she's not coming back, and I'm going to present my argument why I believe this to be valid right now. Well, for one, after Laurel's death, Mark Guggenheim released a statement saying that the character is indeed dead and will stay dead, albeit it's still possible that we will see her in flashbacks or time travel episodes, yada yada yada. So that should be enough to settle the debate right there, right? Wrong. The problem with taking Mark's word for it is that the dude is not above lying to the public to conceal his overall plans for the show. It's one of the oldest tricks in the book that showrunners, directors, producers, etc. all use to fake people out by telling them one thing and then doing another, just because they don't want to give away, the end of the show or their plans for the future of the show. So if that's the case, we know we can't really trust him at his word alone. Not only that, it's true, we know Katie Cassidy is contracted to make an appearance on The Flash later this season as the Black Siren, and is also on retainer to lend her voice as the Black Canary on the second season of Vixen later this year. So knowing that, you would think that's enough information to reasonably believe that they're leaving the door open for a resurrection, right? As I stated earlier, the character Katie Cassidy is playing on the upcoming episode of The Flash has been confirmed to be Black Siren from Earth 2, who is a completely evil version of Laurel Lance on that world. This was set up intentionally so a clear message would be sent to fans and make it clear that they should not expect Earth 2 Laurel to somehow cross over to E1 to join Team Arrow by taking up the mantle of the Black Canary, since, she's a villain. For now, at least, anyway. As far as her being on Vixen, I don't think there's a whole lot of evidence there to suggest that because she's going to appear on the second season of Vixen, that means her character is still alive or coming back anytime soon. For all we know, season 2 of Vixen will probably pick up where the character left off after her crossover with Arrow earlier on season 4, and then play out in a time set before Laurel is killed by Damien Dark. So right there, at this point, I think those are 3 loosely connected pieces of evidence that are leading us to a reasonable conclusion that the character is dead and going to stay dead for the foreseeable future. But that's not all, folks. I have one more nugget of knowledge that kind of pulls all this together in the big picture of the multiverse DC appears to be trying to construct, and rather sloppily, I might add. So check this out. What if Laurel's sudden death could be DC pulling another character embargo because of plans to include Black Canary in another DCEU project at some point in the near future? There are a couple of reasons this could be true, one of which centers on the notion that Oliver's son William, who was originally supposed to be in the grave, and that the decision to kill Laurel off came down from the very top very recently. Another reason the embargo theory might be true is the fact that many unsubstantiated rumors have begun to circulate about a Birds of Prey movie possibly being in the works for DC, as well as rumors indicating a possible appearance for Black Canary in one of the upcoming Justice League movies. And considering the death came about the same time that DC announced 2 new untitled movies on its slate, you really have to wonder. I mean, one of the movies is certainly going to be the Batman solo movie, which I believe was confirmed not too long ago, and who knows what the other one could be. But one thing is for sure though, it won't be a Superman flick. I know this is all very loosely connected and it's kind of tenuous and it may sound like a reach in some areas, but I think that if you start to do the math, it's easy to see a pattern of behavior for WB and DC in these situations if you just use their past track record. Remember earlier on this season of Arrow, there was an episode titled AWOL, where Amanda Waller was abruptly killed off, similarly to Laurel Lance. And this was done because Amanda Waller, of course, will be featured in one of the upcoming DC films, Suicide Squad, which will be in theaters in August. And what's really crazy is that DC's supposed to be building this multiverse, but they don't think DC fans are smart enough to differentiate 2 versions of the same character, which is why they keep killing off the TV version when the movie version comes along. Like, this all sounds retarded to me, and this is probably my biggest reason for believing that Laurel Lance was killed off and she won't be coming back, because I think that DC is going to be doing something with her, because there was just really no explanation to just up and kill her at the last minute, especially if the rumors are true that it was supposed to be Oliver's son William who was supposed to be killed first. So I don't know, take it for what it is, take it with a grain of salt. You have a brain, I have a brain, we're going to have differentiating opinions. It is what it is. So I mean, you could just take it or leave it, make up your own mind. That's what we're here for. But what do you guys think? How'd you feel about Laurel's death? Do you think she will stay dead, or do you think the fan backlash will actually get her resurrected? Either way, why don't you leave a comment down below and let me know your thoughts. Also, if you have the time, please drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and share the video with your friends to help a brother out. That's all I got for you nerds and geeks today. I'm out. One love. Deuces.